What's up, Team Diadem? Welcome back to Courtside Sessions, the podcast designed for junior players, parents, and coaches. And we're back with a very special episode today. It's not every day that you get to sit down with a Grand Slam champion and pick his brain a little bit to learn about his whole journey through tennis. And I hope you guys are all going to be able to take some valuable things from Marcelo Arevalo. How are you feeling today?
Hey, how are you guys? Well, first of all, Kevin, thank you for having me and Diadem team. Pretty excited to be with you guys today in the podcast, and I'm doing great. And I'm pretty excited to share some experience with you guys.
100%. And then so you kind of had that little fluctuation period through challengers and everything, and then what happened after that?
Well, after that, I kind of settled down more into the challenger level.
Mm-hmm.
So I stayed top 200 for a year. Solid. I won a challenger. I won two challengers, and then finally another one. So I reached my best in 2018. That was 139. That was my best. That was my best singles ranking. 2018, 139. So I was playing already qualies of the Grand Slam since 2016. I started playing qualies. And then, but I was already playing doubles too. So I started doing much better in doubles. I won my first ATP 250 in 2018 too. So 2018 was a great year for me because I won my first challenger. I won the second challenger. I won the ATP 250 in doubles. I reached to another ATP 250 final. And yeah, of course, the doubles ranking went way better,
up, right?
way better than the singles ranking. And then
At this point in your career, are you more focused on singles than doubles?
I was.
And then when at this time did you start looking at doubles a little bit more?
2019 was a bit tricky because I started the year, I think, 50 something in doubles and 150 in singles. So I was, in my mind, I was like, oh man, this is my year to make it to the top 100 in singles.
Mm-hmm.
Like I have a full year to make it to the top 100 in singles. And then I remember one of the first tournaments around this time in Argentina, Cordoba. I was playing into the qualis, and I felt something on my back, so I couldn't. I think I was able to finish the match, but not the way I wanted. And I went to see the doctor. I got an MRI and everything there, and they saw that I have a discal hernia.
Okay. Yeah.
Discal hernia. So I stopped for a little bit, and then maybe for a week, and then I think I played Delray Beach Open.
Okay.
I played the Delray Beach Open. I had a crazy match against an Indian guy, Rankumar Ramanathanan. It was a battle, man. Like 7-6 in the third. I beat the guy in the first round of qualis, and then the second round, I woke up the next day. I couldn't even move.
Wow.
I was so stiff. I couldn't even move. I ended up losing like 1 and 2. But I was trying because I never was the type of player that if I have some pain, I will not show to the court or I will quit. Like I was, I can do this. I can manage to play with the pain. But it was tough to play with that pain. So basically, that was the time when I start like losing a little bit of hope in singles.
Mm-hmm.
Like I really need to get better. To get my back better in order to get to the top 100. But then. The time passed by quick.
Mm-hmm.
I was dropping in my singles ranking because I wasn't playing well. I wasn't feeling great, so I was dropping, and then when I was playing doubles, it kind of didn't hurt that much, because I was not moving as much as I was playing singles, and also my single style, it wasn't that nice, like
friendly on the body,
like friendly of the body, let's call it that way. I was kind of like running. I was a grinder,
Yep.
So I was putting a lot of stress on my body, and then in doubles, I figured it out that I need to cover less of the court, and it wasn't like bothering me that much. And then I think that was the point when I sat down with my team and said like, hey, I think, the doubles is the way to reach my goals, my dreams, because I always wanted to play on the big stages, big tournaments, like to be around the big names. And since I was already almost top 50 in doubles, that was like the way to go, and that's when I decided, end of the year, I decided to quit tennis, to quit singles, and focus my calendar on 2020 completely for doubles.
That's really interesting. And before we hear all about what happened after that, I think there's a good spot to talk a little bit about overcoming injuries, because that's something that I think happens to any tennis player along their journey from juniors through the pros. And like, how did you do that? Because I imagine, you're like right on the precipice of getting to where you want in your career. You're so close, and then you're derailed, sidelined by an injury. I imagine that takes a big toll mentally and physically. What do you do in that process to come out the other side stronger?
Yeah, the really hard part about tennis and getting injuries is that nobody wait for you. The money is not waiting for you. The ranking is not waiting for you. So basically, every day that pass by is basically gone. Like you cannot get it back, and it only affects you. Affects your ranking and everything. So what I was trying when I was getting injured is just put a lot of hours in getting back in shape. Like I just wanted to get back in shape pretty quick, and then I was listening to my coaches, to my physios, and the people was taking care of my body when I was getting injured. Just to be back on track quick. Because it feels like when you get injured in tennis, it's like a car race,
Yep.
like you go to the pit stop, and then if you don't get out of the pit stop quick, then you're 1 lap behind, 2 laps behind, 3 laps behind, So it feels the same way in tennis, like if you don't get back to the tournaments feeling 100%, then you just other players just getting behind, in front of you, and the gap just keeps going bigger and bigger, So I feel like for the young kids out there, like I wish you guys don't get injured, but I think it's pretty popular that happens in our sport. Just try to focus on and put a lot of work in your recovery. Like I feel like the recovery is as important, if not more important, as your training.
Yeah, totally. What's your recovery look like on the tour and everything? What do you do to recover from matches, from training, all that kind of stuff?
Yeah, I mean now we're pretty lucky that I'm playing at the best tournaments basically of the calendar, and they basically provide everything. ATP provides one of the best physios, massage therapies, ice bath, compression boots, saunas, jacuzzis, like hot and cold, as I said, ice bath, but also they have the hot ones, and basically you have access to all those tools, and you can use them as many times you want, every single day, every week. So it's up to you to put the time and to do it.
Especially when you're injured.
Yeah.
Where it's like you were saying is more important.
Yeah. Yeah. It is more important, and then as I was saying, like you need to focus. I know it's not nice to be injured, but there is no time to regret or like to kind of like to blame someone. Like sometimes we'll say like, oh, why this happened to me, like there is no time for that, and you need to go back on track quick. So just stay focused, stay on track, trust the process and put a lot of hours on your recovery and listen to your coaches, to your physios, and do whatever you got to do to be back on track.
Yeah, I love that. Thanks for laying that out there for everyone. Let's talk more about your doubles career because it really took off in 2020, right? When you started focusing.
Yes. So 2020 was a special year because I was pretty excited to start the new year as a doubles player, and okay, now I'm gonna try to make it to the top 50 first, and then COVID hits,
Mm-hmm.
So then I was doubting, like, oh my God, what I did, like I quit singles to play doubles, and now we're not playing anything,
Right?
Because we couldn't play because of COVID for a while, and then I was at home practicing, and with a less than a year baby.
Yeah, that's tough, huh?
He was basically a newborn, and yeah, we were like we didn't know what was going on. I mean, no one could tell like, oh, this is gonna last weeks or months or years, So it was difficult times. It was difficult times. So I remember that I got an invitation to play World Team Tennis.
Okay.
In Virginia, right? So it was a good amount of money,
Mm-hmm.
to go play there because we were making basically no money, for like 3 months already, 4 months already, and you need to pay for your stuff.
Yeah, totally.
And
newborn baby.
Yeah, with
it's expensive.
a newborn baby and everything. So I remember those guys from World Team Tennis. They sent the rules and said like, okay, you need to get tested before you arrive. You're gonna get tested on site on your arrival. So if you tested positive on arrival, then you're gonna have to go back home, and then you're not gonna get paid, basically,
Mm.
and yeah, I remember telling my wife like, hey, we're not flying there, like I'm not taking the risk, to take a plane and then and get COVID.
Yeah, totally.
On the trip,
Mm-hmm.
like airport, and then like getting the plane, and then like too much contact with people, So I say like, hey, we're driving to Virginia, I need to get that check, like.
Yeah, definitely.
And then
What'd she say when you told her that?
I mean, she had to agree,
Yeah,
I can't remember how many hours we drove, but at least maybe like 15 hours probably. I don't know. It was probably about 15 hours. Yeah.
Wow. As a professional tennis player.
As a professional tennis player with a almost newborn baby in the car.
Wow, that's awesome.
I remember we did one stop in Atlanta.
Okay.
Yeah. We stopped in Atlanta, and then we kept going straight to Virginia, and then on the way back we did the same. I think we stopped in Jacksonville. I think we go a little bit further this way, and then Jacksonville to Miami. So yeah, so that was pretty crazy 2020, but yeah, we needed to get paid, to keep paying for the coaches, for the practices and everything. And then luckily they started slowly opening some tournaments,
Mm-hmm.
of course with all the rules, you need to wear masks, you need to get tested, and need to get vaccinated and all that stuff.
And this is all happening while you had just made the decision to go all in on doubles, right? Which is, I can imagine that's so stressful.
Yeah, that was crazy. But yeah, we did play well. We played well with a partner that I was playing in 2020, and we did some good results. And then I was able to crack into the top 50, and since I cracked into the top 50, I don't remember going back out of the top 50. And then the next years was always better and better, and I was setting my goals always higher and higher, and I was able to reach all those goals.
Woo! Thanks for listening to this episode of Courtside Sessions. I want to take a second to talk to you about balls. Not this ball, these balls. Diadem Sports tennis balls. We have balls for every court surface and every need. Starting with our red, orange, green balls for the juniors. Moving on up to our team balls and our regular and extra duty premier balls that are great for high level performance. We use these balls all across the world. We use them at the Pro Tennis Tour in Europe. We most recently signed a partnership deal with the New York High School State Athletic Association, and they'll be using our balls at their state championship. I don't know if you've had the chance to try our balls, but today you can with 15% off. Use code CSSBalls. That's right, CSSBALLS on our website, diademsports.com, to get any of these balls for 15% off. Ultimately, that accrued in a Grand Slam championship, right? What was that moment like when you were out there and got to hold up the trophy and everything?
Man, that was crazy. That was, for a moment I couldn't believe it. I remember after the match point, I remember look up at my box. It was my wife with my kid, with my coach. My ex-partner's family were there, and coaches, and a lot of friends from El Salvador were there too.
Wow.
So for like 10, 15 seconds, I was like that, like, is this real? And then I remember getting close to my ex-partner, and he kind of like hit me in the face and say like, hey man, we won French Open.
Yeah.
That was when I kind of like react that it was real, because it was something that I dream of basically my whole life. Like winning a Grand Slam. It was, when I was a kid, it was something that you will say it but not really mean it. Like, oh, I want to win a Grand Slam, but just to feel cool. But you like coming from El Salvador, you see it just too far. Like that's out of my limits. That's out of my reach. But once you start like getting into the tennis, like as the way I did, and then getting closer and closer, and had a good junior career, and then ATP, playing some futures and challengers, and then you start seeing that closer and closer. But this is 20 years of work,
100%. And I would love to hear a little bit about, you're in the moment, that's all great, but before that happened, when it's match point, what's going through your head about to accomplish your lifelong dream? How do you maintain your composure and stay in the match?
Yeah, it's pretty crazy, because I had a great story about the last game. I remember me and my partner were not winning so many matches, let's say pure French Open.
Okay.
I think we lost like a couple of first round or like second rounds, so we were not like winning many matches, so that was basically not the best form to get into a Grand Slam, right? So I remember we played this tournament in Geneva, which is at 250, just the week before French Open. And then normally I will go, if I lose first or second round in that previous week of a Grand Slam, I will go quick to the Grand Slam to get practices there,
Yep, definitely.
And I don't know how it happens, but we ended up going back with my wife to Slovakia, because she's from Slovakia.
Okay.
So we ended up going back to Slovakia for like a day or two, or like 3. I can't remember. And she's good friends with Mike Bryan's wife.
Oh, nice.
So they were there also in Slovakia, in a different town. And my wife and his wife, they supposed to get together for like a coffee and just to see each other, whatever. So so my wife said like, hey, why don't you come with me? Mike is gonna be there, so maybe you can play with him, or you can practice. Maybe he can tell you something, or whatever. So I said, yeah, of course, like Mike Bryan, like I wanna hear, like what he has to say, and everything. So yeah, we dropped there, and we spent like a good amount of time with them. Me and Mike went on court for like literally 15, 20 minutes because I think it was raining. So
okay.
we hit couple balls and then it started raining and then we just talking the whole time, you know. But I remember one specific thing he said to me before I left. He said, like, when you have a time, just go to the main court, to the main stadium, which is the Felicia Trier. And he said to me, go there and just visualize yourself playing a final
Mm-hmm.
in the stadium, you know, because that's where you're going to play the final, you know. Just visualize yourself playing a match there, you know, playing the final and just lifting the trophy, you know. I said, like, okay, I never done this before in my career, you know, but this guy said, you know, I better do it, you know. So I went there and I completely forgot the first few days, you know, like practices, you know, you get excited because you get to the slam and everything is, you know, like you see everyone, you know, you see all your friends and everyone. So I forgot. And then they call our first match, right?
Mm-hmm.
So just right before they call our first match, you know, like I was like, oh man, I didn't do what this guy told me, you know. So I was quick. So I told my coach, like, hey, I need to go to the stadium. And then he was asking, why not? I said, like, give me 5-10 minutes. I'm back in 5-10 minutes. So I went to the stadium. And then I sit up there, you know, and I start like
empty stadium.
It wasn't.
Couple people.
It was just a couple people because it was before the 11 a.m. match. You know?
Okay.
Normally start 11 a.m. match, so this was like maybe 10 a.m. I don't know.
Gotcha.
Something like that. So I went there, you know, like there were nobody practicing on the court, so the court was empty. But you know, a lot of workers there, you know, like cleaning and making sure that the stadium looks nice for the 11 a.m. show, right?
Yeah.
So I sit there and then I start like playing a match, you know. Started playing a match, playing my final, so visualizing myself, blah blah. And ended up happening that I said, like, you know, like I'm gonna win the title here, like with my serve, you know, because I consider my serve my weapon, you know.
Okay.
So then I get to the point in my match, I was playing in my mind,
Mm-hmm.
and I said, I'm gonna serve for the match, you know. So I was meditating, you know, visualizing, and then boom, 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 4 first serves, Marcelo Arevalo, you know, champion of French Open, you know. So I opened my eyes, everything nice. I went back to the locker room, stayed with my partner, with my coach. Boom, we went out to the first match. Won the first match, second match, a battle, like completely battle. We were down 6-2, 4-1, something like that. You know, 2 breaks already in the second set, about to be out of the tournament. So we turned that match around, ended up winning 6-3 in the third, you know, against 2 French guys. So long story short, when I get to that point, to that moment, you know, we were 5-2 in the third set up in the final, right?
Mm-hmm.
And that game was pretty long, you know, a couple of advantage in, advantage out, deuce, advantage, 5-3, right? 5-3, I went to the towel.
Mm-hmm.
I looked up, and I remember that's where I was sitting, you know,
Yep.
when I was playing my final, you know, like 2 weeks ago.
Yeah,
you know, this is 2 weeks ago. Yeah,
Yep.
2 weeks ago already. So I looked up, and then, you know, I just closed my eyes pretty quick, and I took the towel, you know, and I remember, like, normally I talk a lot, you know, I talk a lot to my partner, but I felt so secure in that moment that I told him, like, I go T, you cross, you know, like I didn't even ask him, you know, like sometimes when I find myself in those pressure moments, I go like, you know, like, do you like T?
Kind of like a question, like, what do you think?
Exactly.
Yeah.
Kind of like waiting for that affirmation. You
Yep.
say, like, yeah, man, go T. Okay, I got T, you know, but in that moment, like, it was like the biggest moment of my career so far, and then I was like, T and you go left, you know, first serve, 15 love, and, you know, I just took the balls quick and say, like, T right, whatever, you know, so boom, boom, first serve. So I ended up hitting 4 first serves.
Wow, just like
first serves,
just like you thought about
just
it.
Like
right?
I thought in that moment, and then we ended up winning the game in love, you know. So it was 40 love, and then we won the match like that. So that's why for like 10, 15 seconds, I look up to them, to my coaches and my wife, and I was like, it was that easy, you know, like I wasn't expecting the last game to be that easy, you know, like it was like, is that it, you know, like
wow, that's unbelievable.
So yeah, man, so that was crazy. So that's something that I can also, you know, tell that the kids, coaches, and the parents that are probably gonna listen to us, you know, like to like the power of the visualization is it's amazing, you know, because you kind of like attract those moments, you know, and it feels like you've been there before, you know, and that's how I felt in that moment, you know. I was so like I felt so safe because I told myself like I've been in this situation like 2 weeks ago, you know, like,
Yeah.
you know, what's the problem now, you know, I done this before, you know.
No, I think the mind is such a powerful tool, and on the visualization stuff, it's something that players can do anywhere. You know, you could be on the way to the match, think about it in the car. You could be in your bed at night about to go to sleep, think about it. Yeah. You could do it anywhere. You can. So I think that's a great tool for people to use, and I think the story of you doing it and winning a Grand Slam is unbelievable. Literally, I got goosebumps talking about that. So thank you for sharing. I think we got a couple more things before we wrap it up. The first one is I'd love to hear a little bit about the dynamic and relationship and teamwork that you have with your doubles partner, because I think that's a really unique relationship at the highest levels and at juniors too, in tournaments and things like that. So I'd love to hear a little bit about your thoughts there.
Yeah, I think especially in doubles, you know, the relationship you have with your partner is key. You know, it's super important to have a good vibe around, you know, like with the team also, you know. It's important that you feel comfortable with your partner, like on and off the court, you know, because I spend more time with my partners than the time that I spend with my family, you know, like spend 30 weeks with my partner, and, you know, I don't get to spend that much time with my family at home, you know.
Yeah, totally.
So it become pretty strong relationship, and you need to also be really open, you know. Like sometimes everyone's different, you know. You're gonna like some stuff, I'm not gonna like some other stuff, but we need to be mature enough to separate some things, and then just be able to talk, you know, to talk face to face. And
the communication.
Yeah, communication is key, you know, to not have any problems in the later in the relationship, you know. And so far, I mean, it's been working good for me, you know. Like all my partners that I had, I'm still good terms with them, you know. Like even if I'm not playing with them, you know, we're still friends. And as I said before, you need to be mature enough to separate the work from your friendship, you know. Like and don't let's say like something that you said during a match, or like something that you said after a match affect your relationship as a friend, you know. Because sometimes like some little things that you can say in the heat of the moment or after a match that you lost and then you're not happy about that, if you take it personally, you know, that can end up ruining a relationship or friendship for years, you know. So you need to be very careful and choose your words nicely, and don't take those things personal. If someone says something in the heat of the moment, and just separate those things from, that's part of the work, and then outside the work we back and we good friends again, you know.
Yeah, I think that's great advice, and definitely that relationship is, I think, one of the most interesting ones in all of sports at the highest level. You know, when you're competing for Grand Slams with somebody else. So I appreciate that. The next question that I had was, you are a father with some young kids. Are they going to play tennis? What's your thoughts there?
That's a good question. Yeah, I mean, Of course, I as a dad, I would love to see my kid also doing what I love, what I have passion about, and what it's been giving me so far. So many nice memories, and what is giving me a lot of happiness and everything. But I think we're doing a good job with my wife. I mean, she's the one that spent way more time with him than me, and he's already attending tennis classes, but also soccer classes. And we were just discussing with my wife this week to set him up for another sport. Like we want him to actually be able to decide for himself what he likes best. So now he's in soccer and tennis, and probably we can sign him up for, I don't know, maybe basketball or like some other sport, and see what he likes. Like, because at the end of the day, maybe maybe he likes tennis, but maybe he realized that he's better in basketball, or like he's better in soccer, or he has a better future in basketball than soccer, or whatever. So he will realize for himself at some point,
Mhm.
like I did, like with myself. Like, that's what I'm very grateful with my parents, because they never forced me to do anything. They were super open to let me do whatever I wanted, like in terms of sport, like not everything else. And I think that's super important also for the parents to take note. Like, it's not nice, let's say, to put pressure on your kid at such a young age. We all, as a parents, we want our kids to be the next Roger Federer, the next Rafa Nadal, the next Novak Djokovic. But hey, I mean, the most important at this moment is for them to enjoy what they're doing. Like, to just have fun as a kids with their friends, and not focus too much on like winning right now. Because at such a young age, they need to develop all those things around them. Like, just let them be kids. And then it's gonna be the point when they have to decide, oh, I like this sport, I like this sport, I want to become professional, or I just want to go to college, or this is just my hobby, or whatever. So it's pretty important to let your kids, I think, just go on their own pace.
100%. I think that's a very refreshing approach.
Yeah.
Is let the kids be kids. Let them
Yeah.
play. Let them find what they enjoy and what they want to pursue and their passions and all that kind of stuff. So
Yeah.
I think that's a great point.
Yeah.
But before we wrap it up, maybe let's hear if you have anything, any tournaments coming up that people
Yeah.
can watch you at. What's your schedule look like for the rest of the year?
Okay, this is when it gets interesting. My wife don't like too much my schedule these days, because it's pretty busy. But nah, yeah, I'm enjoying my last few days at home, before I go to the Netherlands on Saturday. I'm gonna play ATP 500 there. Then I'm playing Doha in Dubai. That's 250 and a 500. After that, I come back to the US to play Indian Wells and Miami Open. So those are, let's say, the big tournaments. That's where you really wanna, bring your best game. That's where all the points are. That's where you can basically change the route of your year. You can become number one there. You can basically secure a spot into the finals at the end of the year if you win one Master 1000. So there are like a lot of things in play in the Masters 1000. So that's our calendar for the next few weeks. And these 3 tournaments that we're gonna play in Europe and then in Doha and Dubai, it's we basically it's kind of like a tune-up to get in the best shape possible to the Indian Wells in Miami.
Definitely. Well, I'm excited to follow along on those, see how you do, and keep track there. So I guess we'll wrap it up there. I know there's a ton more that we could have got through, so maybe we'll have to have Marcelo come back someday. But this is another great episode of Courtside Sessions. I have to give a big thank you to our whole production team here at Diet Up Sports. But we'll be back with more Courtside Sessions episodes coming soon. So make sure you guys stay tuned, like, comment, share, subscribe. You know the deal. We're out of here, guys.